Hello and welcome back to the RiftGuides WildRift video. Today we are going to take a look at the newly released Zyra on the Chinese PvE. Thanks to DARKBREAKER, we'll get a closer look to it. If you want to check out his video and his thoughts on the entire champion and what it does, check out the link in the description below. So many of you are seeing Zyra as a champion that is maybe a support, maybe a mage, but being a jungler is a very valid option. Zyra has a few different abilities or a few different ways of functioning as a champion in this game compared to the League PC version, so it's very interesting to see new and exotic ways of playing. So for example, if you hit a monster with your first ability, you will always spawn like a spitter. Now this spitter will probably not deal the most damage, so let's just take a good look. So he spawns the spitter, but the spitter only deals like 7 damage. That's really not that much. But it at least tanks for you. So you're not dying instantly in the jungle. But the damage looks very low, so it's probably better to just have it tank for you, because it's only 7. So let's take a look. Oh, he even pulls the camps together. This looks a little bit troublesome to do, but yeah. So now they deal 2 damage more? Yeah, 2 damage more. But so far, this looks like quite the hassle in terms of jungle clearing. Other champions like Evelynn are already on the other side of the jungle, and Zyra is kind of struggling here. With this in mind, it's very unlikely to see this champion in the jungle role because she's way too slow at clearing. So I don't believe that this setup will be the play. I would assume that this champion will probably be played in the support role. Maybe there's a way to play a mid lane, but we need to see her scaling on the plants. It's just generally very important to see what it does, but you see, like, his clear is really slow. Similar to, for example, Brand. Like, I really wish we could play Brand, right? Brand is such a fun champion, and on PC they even buffed his jungle clear so much that he's actually a meta pick right now. So I'd be very happy to see similar things in WildRift, just for more, diversity in champ styles. But obviously, the clear isn't optimized, and yeah, it's way too difficult to already have an optimized clear, but he's already doing a very good job by just letting his plants execute these minions. And we are slowly getting some more damage on these spitters, but we are looking at a 215 full clear-ish, if he cleared the small ones as well. And now he's going for a gank. Very unlikely it's gonna work out, but at least he does some decent damage to him. And it appears that the spitters die from 1 turret shot. So yeah. Also, Zyra's second ability compared to the PC version is basically a damage over time effect. You apply it to an enemy champion, and then it takes damage. Your ultimate ability is an AoE steroid for your plants. It basically enrages all your plants, gives them more HP, and is an AoE knockup. So now he bought some AP, so I'm very curious to see the damage he deals to, for example, jungle camps or champions now. And I'm very curious if Zyra and WildRift can go Rylays, and if her spitters apply the slow, because that would be a very interesting thing depending on how many people he hits in a fight. Just slowing them down and making life way harder for them. It's very curious to see. The enemy is sadly a little bit more respectful here. There's some juicy damage to the Grace, but now we're like 14. This looks like very low damage so far at level 5. Do you guys believe, just let me know in the comments, that so far from just the raw damage, like base damage, that Zyra would probably need a buff on the plants? Because it seems like really low damage. Like, such low numbers are very weird, but maybe she got some very interesting AP scalings and level scalings on her plants, which then allow her to later deal even more damage. But so far, I'm not really sold on the damage. But yeah, let's take a look at the jungle now, because he has a bit of AP, and jungle camps don't have MR. Yeah, it's still very low. This looks like it's way too low. so many champions at this point would just speed clear the jungle, but you spawn a lot of plants, but well, they don't do too much. Still a very interesting champion concept. So, from my perspective, I don't really believe we're gonna see Zyra jungle. I'll play it a bit and I'll see how it goes once it releases. But as of now, the champion looks a little bit weak if we are like talking WildRift release champions, right? Just from the very few moments in the game, but every AP champion will be insane once he has 3 items, so there's that. But still, like, this looks just, it's really not that high. But at least he spawns so many plants. Just take a look at his entire garden he makes. Look, but they don't deal damage. I mean, to my knowledge, they have like reduced damage to monsters, but still. This slow is very cool. This was a very cool combo. So yeah, he just popped him. So where did the entire damage combo come from? He's maxing his third ability. Because the plants themselves don't seem like the strongest influence so far. But yeah. On the bright side, as you see, like, she can just do Dragon without losing HP because the plants are tanking for her. Like, which is obviously a very nice bonus for junglers. It's just always a question of if the champion can accelerate fast enough in the jungle to be powerful. Like, for example, all the AP champions in jungle like Fizz, Evelynn, etc. They all have like either a very good clear or very high base damage. But outside of this one shot right now on the mid lane where she already had Pen and Pen boots, it wasn't really so much. The Malphite goes in with an absolute maniac. We just turn around flashing on 2 billion MS truly isn't so easy. Yeah, this, I don't know, this just doesn't... The Twisted Fate is absolutely mad. But yeah, this damage just doesn't, it doesn't look like it's just remotely enough, no? Like, I know we're in early game and we're a mage, but we have double pen. Like, we have 12 plus 8 pen or something. And some AP, and we don't do anything. It really seems very weird. Honestly speaking, I would be very curious to see Liandry's Torment, though. Liandry's Torment would be a very cool idea, I think. And it depends on how the plants apply it. Like, utility type of Zyra, you would have Rylai's for the utility slow, and then Liandry's that is constantly reapplied through plants. Like, I'm very curious, or I would be very curious to see if that works, because otherwise you would just go for the cookie cutter AP build, right? You would go for Nash's Lamau. You would go for Luden's Echo, and then after Luden's Echo, you would probably go for Infinity Orb. And then after Infinity Orb, you go for Rabadon's Death Cap. And I think, like, generally the jungle clear, like, also depending on how the plants work in combination with Luden's Echo, would be very curious to see as well. You clear jungle a lot faster. And obviously, cooldown reduction seems very good on this champion. Oh, his plants. That is a very good thing. That's a very cool thing. That he can save so much time by letting the plants kill the buffs from so far away, so he can be like very optimal in the way he plays. But yeah, it's like nearly 9 minutes into the game and his plant still can't fight a small chicken. What is that? Like, he's dealing with the red buff as if it's Baron Nashor. 10 years later. Oh, maybe the plant will win against the red buff, maybe it won't. We'll see later. Oh, it won the fight. Epic. And yeah, second ability to slow down the enemy like a budget Narcissus slow, then fully blow your combo, and yeah, they die. Like, I'm very, very, very concerned about the power level right now. At least for the jungle, right? Like, maybe for lane it's different. Just have to take a good look at the range of his Q, or first ability again. And just to understand, why is he hovering? Why is he... Okay, Darkbreaker, Lichbane, okay. He's going crazy now. He's hearing the voices. They're in his head. I need to auto-attack. Maybe my Nashor's blunder earlier wasn't so untrue. Oh my god, Alistair. No way. But in all honesty, like, what do you guys think so far? Like, I know it's on 213 and 250 ping, obviously. But just generally looking at the damage numbers, for the jungle role in specific, I sadly can't see her as a champion. But for the support role, like, depending on how Rylace works with her, and generally, it might be very cool. Like, just imagine, like, you have also, like, Ludens, like, Rylace, Leandri, and you deal so much damage spread across all people, because your plants hit multiple people, but for that I need to know if the plant's auto attacks actually apply Leandri. Because that could really be helpful in making you deal even more damage later on. Because these plants obviously need to be killed, and I assume that they need multiple hits to be taken down. And maybe the similar interaction as it works for PC also works here, where, for example, Misfortune's passive killed the plants rather, like, kind of instantly. I don't know. I really don't think jungle is the move. Kind of sad. Would have been so cool to see. And yeah, that you always spawn, you always spawn a plant on your first ability, and you always spawn a plant on your third ability at the end of the spellcast, if I'm not mistaken, right? Unless you hit something, then it spawns earlier. Like, his plants are suffering to kill, like, low H. Nah, it's still not possible. So I guess we have our answer when it comes to generally jungling. It's just not enough. I didn't even pay attention. Does anyone know? Because I didn't pay attention to the names, and I obviously can't speak Chinese. Is this AI, or is this just a normal game on the... It looks like AI, right? I honestly don't know. It could be a Grandmaster's game to me, let's be honest. Let's just be honest here for a second. Man, those messages in Chinese look so long. Like, in my brain, it's like a paragraph, like a literal essay. Also, the item names. That looks crazy. How the item's name is like 15 billion letters. No wonder that if new things come to the China server first and they have like very long names, like translation errors happen. Makes a lot of sense. It's just so difficult to pilot your champion on this ping. Like, where does the majority of his damage come from? Which spell, obviously outside of the ultimate ability, did the most in this game? Like, it's just very, very... It looks like it's just it's like high burst and then nothing happens. Like, literally nothing. Which is very much concerning that we are like 40 minutes into the game and he can't even one-tap a camp. What was this high... Was it the last tick of his second ability? Where exactly does the burst come from? Obviously, he gets ran down here. But let's just go forward and skip the death timer, because it's rather long. So, oh wait, it was the Lich Bane. It must. Oh, she has a new splash out, right? Ooh, juicy. What was the Lich Bane? I'm just stupid. It's the Lich Bane. But honestly, I think if you want to have a faster jungle clear, just go Nashor's. But even then, I don't really think that's the play. Even though like his score like 8-2, which is, well, yeah. I just don't think it's a champion for jungle role. But it was so much burst. Yeah, it's just, and it's such a decently low cool. Oh, it's level 13 old, so level 3 old. So. But regardless, it's a very interesting champion. Look at the entire garden blasting this blue buff. Oh my god, the cow. The cow. His Lich Bane is popping off. We don't have Rabadon yet, right? Oh, we do have Rabadon, my bad. But this looks so sad. But still a very cool champion. So, just from watching this, I think it's safe to say you don't play in the jungle, you'll play her in the bot lane. Maybe you can play Senna Zyra. Ooh, getting very close here. He doesn't get off the spell because of the ping. Would have been juicy. I think it's gonna be either support or like a very interesting duo combination. She probably has too little damage for mid lane, but it depends on her wave clear capabilities. Like if she one taps the wave with QE, then she's decent, because then she can kind of siege and set up dives as well with the plants. And I assume her objective control, with just all the plants being everywhere, depending on your item choices and how they interact with your plants, she can be decent. But on my mind, there are like multiple questions right now, like such as how does Ludens interact with their plants auto attacks? Like, does it trigger if it's fully stacked on a plant auto attack? Does Liandry's trigger on your plant auto attacks? Does Riley's trigger on your plant's auto attacks? Like all of these things. Because all of these things influence how much DPS you can do. This guy has 57 magic resist, so he just explodes, right? Like, he has like 1 billion AP. But most of the damage was very front-loaded with Burst. And we had Infernal Soul? Yeah, we have Infernal Soul as well. So I'd just be curious to see, like, raw plant auto attacks. Okay, Twisted Fate, you are dead. Also, I would be curious to see if he can do Nashor with plants tanking. If he can just sustain enough plants to just do it, even though they don't deal damage. And I want to see how the aura does against the Baron. Okay, we'll get to see it. Please don't end the game. Do the Nashor and show us all how it's done. No, don't do the blue buff. I want to see the Nashor. You even have the cheat code Elder. Come on. Show me. Just flip it. Okay, it appears to take no aura damage. He has the Gaze of the Baron. Yeah, so the plants take no aura damage, as you see. So they can reliably tank for him, but if he messes up or doesn't have enough cooldown reduction, he'll get the Baron debuff, and then it's barely, like, it's literally impossible. But yeah, it's pretty cool for him to tank, like, he can tank for his team like this, so Zyra support gains even more value, because she can be a damage support that also provides you with the way of tanking objectives, which will obviously make it easier for you to live, because your teammates have more HP. Yes, fighting. But yeah, even though like he's ridiculously fed, I don't have the feeling like I have with other AP champions that is like, wow, explosion, giga damage. It's more like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. So, at least for the jungle role, right? Yeah, but maybe. Maybe for the support department, things are a little bit juicier. So show us the damage, good sir. Come on, Mr. Darkbreaker. I need you to show me the damage. He doesn't. Did I not see it? Oh, he doesn't. Still. Very cool. But my closing thoughts on the champion. It's too slow of a clear for the jungle role. It has too many weaknesses during the jungle clear. It has a very healthy clear though, which is very cool. It has very good objective setup in the sense of the plants tanking for you. I think it's going to be a very strong support, given that she has so much damage potential in the sense of burst, and it all depends on her items, right? If the items work as I expect them to work, or if they simply don't work. So yeah. Funnily enough, it was probably Lichbane dealing a big portion of his damage during this game. Well, I was like, huh? What's going on here? But still. And that's basically it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Check out his YouTube channel in the description below. He made a video about this. It's all his. So yeah. Thank you all. Leave a comment. See you soon for RiftGuides content.